Episode 12, 39 Graves. Julia is able to track down the goddess's servant and gives him 3 gifts, and he gives her a way of contacting the goddess. He leaves her with the warning that she should be sure about contacting, as she can't unring a bell. Richard's merry group of misfits are very excited about the fact that now they have a way of contacting the goddess, and it seems like all of their dreams are just about to become true. Julia can't help but be a little bit nervous, in which another member tells her, hey, there's always going to be some creepy guy just when you're about to beat the patriarchy, in regards to the fact that this goddess's servant was a really creepy guy. And it sort of just left her feeling weird about this whole situation. Nonetheless, they go ahead with the goddess summoning, and she comes and she grants all their petitions, and it seems like everybody got what they wanted. It seemed overwhelmingly successful. Back at Breakspills, at the physical kid's house, is extremely awkward. In the aftermath of the Elliot, Margot, Quentin hookup, Alice ended up getting comforted by Penny, who then they hooked up together. So now we're in a situation where Alice is upset at Quentin is upset at Alice, and also Quentin's sort of lashing out at anybody else, and Margot's like, whoa, you don't get to sleep with me and then get upset about that. Like, you chose to do that. You don't get to shame me for that, for the actions you took. Elliot is still struggling just with the whole Mike thing, so he's not in a good place, and I don't know, maybe Penny's doing the best, but also I don't think he's doing that great, because he's also dealing with the whole Traveler stuff, and then the Katie stuff, and then the Alice stuff, and just Quentin, since they don't get along great. But anyways, this is not gonna have to matter because there's more important things that they have to deal with, namely going after the beast. So in order to go after the beast, everybody but Penny decides to bottle up their emotions, Alice choosing to do so this time because the way that she was feeling towards Quentin would have probably led to them all getting killed. Anyways, they make their way to the Netherlands, where they immediately get surrounded by the beast's minions, and everybody gets separated a bit, and Quentin falls back into the Earth Fountain while Penny leads everybody else into the library. The library is a safe haven because the beast's minions can't go inside. The keeper from earlier once again introduces herself and says welcome. She greets Margot, calling her Janet, which is a nod to the fact that in the book series, Margot's original name was Janet, but for the show it was changed so there weren't so many confusing J names. She tells them that there are only 2 rules in the library. 1, no food or drink, and 2, don't hurt the books. Elliot immediately disregards the second rule as he finds Mike's book and learns the truth about Mike by reading it, finding out that the Mike that he met isn't the true Mike at all, and actually the true Mike was a Republican and not gay at all. I don't think this helps him at all. It sort of just is a burn on his wound, and he tries to burn Mike's book, and the keeper comes over freaking out going, you can't do that, and then kicks them all out. After they get kicked out, they find Josh, one of the missing third years, and find out what happened to the third years. Josh has been in the Netherlands for 2 weeks after a failed spring break trip to Fillory. That the third year traveler Victoria took everybody on. When they got to Fillory, however, the beast captured them, and Victoria was only able to get Josh out before she went back to try to save everybody else, but instead she was captured by the beast. With Josh's knowledge of the Netherlands, they come up with a plan to sneak their way into the Fillory fountain. They're going to rely on Alice's specialty, phosphoromancy, to bend light around everybody so they can sneak past the beast minions. This plan would work perfectly if it were not for the fact that Elliot took one of the psychedelic carrots that Josh warned them not to eat and starts tripping on the way towards the Fillory fountain. He ends up stopping in his haze and then gets spotted, which causes everybody to run in a mad dash towards the Fillory fountain, which luckily everybody makes it in, but it was quite a close call. Back on Earth, Quentin is upset about being trapped here, and he goes to confront the Dean, spiking his drink with truth serum. This is when he finds out that the name 39 Graves comes from the fact that Quentin and the others have died 39 times so far. Eliza, or Jane Chatwin, created a time loop in order to try to stop the beast. Every time she reset it, she would change something in order to try to figure out a better outcome. Unfortunately now, Jane's dead, which means the time loop is over. They don't get any more do-overs. This is sort of the last chance they get to make it work and to survive. The thing that Jane changed this time is the fact that Julia was rejected from Brakebills. Originally in the 39 other timelines, she went to Brakebills, but this time she was rejected in the hopes that it would make her stronger. Quentin goes to Julia and tells her all about this, and also saying, "Hey, I need your help to defeat the beast, otherwise we're all gonna die." His other reason is that if he is gonna die, he doesn't want to die still being mad at his oldest friend. Quentin takes Julia back to Brakebills with him so that they can research a way to get into Fillory. They figure the best option they have is to follow Jane through one of the portals. And luckily, some former Brakebill students created a portal to 1942 to try to kill Hitler, not knowing that Hitler was a master magician and it ended in their demise. But luckily for Quentin and Julia, 1942, and specifically the date they set it to, is just a couple days before Jane goes through a portal to Fillory. If they use this portal and go back in time, they will be able to follow Jane into Fillory, which they then do. They make their way to England, 1942, and they follow Jane through the Fillory portal and find themselves in Fillory.